Welcome to episode number 26 of the Better with Brock podcast. I'm here with Anthony Michael. We just did a photo shoot this morning, probably our second one that we've done so far. Third. Okay, sorry. Third. Give us an introduction, because I probably won't do it justice.
Well, what would you like to know? How would you describe myself? How would I describe myself?
I would say photographer, videographer, real estate agent,
yes,
or realtor.
Everyone hates real estate agents.
Okay.
Everyone does. So I like to say property sales.
Okay, property
Sounds
sales.
a bit more elite than real estate agent, doesn't it?
Okay. Yeah. Well, you said not to mention the other word, so I won't mention that.
Which is the other word?
The company.
Retail.
Yeah.
JB Hi-Fi.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, look, I started at JB Hi-Fi in like 2004.
Okay.
And I think I was at JB Hi-Fi for I'm still there one day a month.
Yeah.
But I've been there for like 17, 18 years. But over that time, I probably quit 8 or 9 times to travel.
Yeah.
So essentially, JB Hi-Fi, real estate, photography, filmmaking, writing, directing, traveling,
travel bug, extraordinaire.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess.
Everything.
How do you wrap that up in one thing? No, you can't. I won't put you in a box like that. But
thank you.
I guess introduce yourself. Why you got into because I met you through photography or like Instagram, and I saw your work. Well, I guess take us from the start. Like, where'd you grow up?
Sure.
What was school like? Did you study or did you go straight into work? And then how you kind of ended up doing this wide array of things.
I think, I grew up on the Sunshine Coast, born in Sydney, raised on the Sunshine Coast from the age of 5 or 6. In high school, I think it was like year 10 or 11, I started using the video camera at school and started filming all the school events. And
what sort of video camera was it at the time?
It was one of those giant ones you put on your shoulder. You put a VHS in the camera in order to record.
Wow.
That's how bad it was.
A camera's like the size of a VHS.
Literally, it was insane. The VHS mechanism would close. You were probably still in diapers at that point.
What year was it?
It was 1997.
Yeah, I was 4.
You were 4.
I was probably still wearing diapers at 4. You never know.
Wow. Well, God, I hope not. My goodness. And then I think it was like 2003 or 4. I got really depressed at some stage in my life, and I picked up a camera for the first time in like 4 or 5 years, and I just started shooting my friends. And then it gradually grew and grew and grew, and then I opened my business doing it in 2007. And since then, photography has been like my outlet. Some people have fitness, some people have yoga, or some people write, or whatever it may be. For me, it's always been photography is my scapegoat. So
what was so freeing about photography when you did it? Like you said, you were depressed, and then it helped you, or
it did.
Or, maybe you weren't feeling yourself, and then you picked it up and you felt better. I think it was
the creative aspect, getting creative and using my mind on something that wasn't focusing on something else. And on top of that, having someone in front of the lens of your camera, depending on what you're shooting, it's quite a vulnerable thing. So many people are uncomfortable in front of a camera. They don't like being shot. Even a photograph, you go to dinner, let's get a picture. Everyone, oh no, they don't. They just
I'm sitting on the wrong side of the table.
Oh, I'm on the wrong side. I need the lighting's wrong. They all chuck a fit, and I'm like, to have someone in front of your camera for an hour or two getting professional photos, it's an experience that you will only ever have. No one else will ever have. You get to see that person at the most vulnerable in a way. So, it's a really cool experience. I love that.
So what would your advice be for people that feel uncomfortable in front of a camera? Because now everyone is taking photos of themselves, videoing themselves. Everyone's trying to start a personal brand or even just... Like, I'm about to be a father. People just take so many videos and photos of their babies.
They really
like
do.
everyone's just capturing their whole life.
Yeah, they do.
Like, how do people get comfortable in front of a camera, whether it's a photo or a video?
Well,
like, how do you make people feel comfortable? Because we've done a few
shoots.
things, and you, I think, distract me well.
I do distract you well. I think it's all about having fun. Don't take it too seriously. Just have fun with it. Laugh, have a conversation. If you get along with the person, the energy's great. It's even better. You're going to have an even better time. But if you're stiff and nervous about how you're going to look or how they're going to turn out, don't worry. There's Photoshop to fix anything you hate. And people are so precarious of that. I don't use Photoshop. I'm a natural photographer.
I do.
You do, of course you do. Everything's fake at Brock Ashby. No, I just how do you make someone? Okay, I guess. When you're younger, you just want to look older. When you're older, you want to look younger. But in between, there's a point where you just go, fuck it, I'm done. I don't care. Let's just do whatever. If you can just get to that stage and not care, someone else is going to appreciate that you're in the photo with them, because when you're dead, they're going to look back and go, oh, we've got no photos of that person. But if you've just taken the time to be in a selfie or get a portrait or a headshot or whatever it is, even for a LinkedIn profile, anything, like, there's nothing wrong with getting a photo taken. It's not a big deal. It documents who you are.
But how do you get to a point where like, oh, I'm just going to have fun? Because most people hate it.
A lot of people do hate it. But
so how do you get to that point of, oh, this is fun?
Well, they say they hate it, and then you might catch them off guard, looking at themselves in their phone, trying to get the right selfie, taking 60 shots. That's like, you know you look good on camera. You just want to get the right angle, and you're afraid of someone else not getting the right angle or making you look dreadful. And I guarantee you, when anyone ever takes a photo of you, like a dinner or a birthday or a wedding, oh God, I look fat, I look dreadful. Well, what would you do differently if you felt great on the day? You know, on the day you feel $1 million, you're dressed up, but you still think you look crap in photos. It doesn't make sense to me. It blows my mind what people think that.
Yeah. Well, I guess the best way to do it, and this is just coming from a personal trainer perspective,
Here we go.
is and this might sound harsh, but
get ripped.
Well, that's a better way to put it of what I was going to say, but yeah, put the work in.
Yeah,
like that does help you. Like I understand the whole confidence thing as well, because I'm big on that. Like,
yeah.
But I guess as someone that has, I guess, grown up skinny and like never really been overweight, it's hard for me to say, oh, just enjoy it. Because it's like, well, you know, you haven't been fat. Like that's just not how my genetics work. I kind of work the other way around. But
someone could be fat and feeling incredible and they love getting their photo taken. Yeah. It just depends mentally, I guess, also where you're at, you know. But I agree. Go in the gym. Motivating yourself, feeling better within yourself is obviously going to make you feel more comfortable in photos, filming, everything, you know.
And the worst thing about photos is they make you look bigger than you actually are.
They add 10 kilos.
Yeah.
It's dreadful. Or I look at photos of myself and go, do I actually look like that? Like, I recently had a birthday and I looked at the photos of myself and I just went, I did not look like that on the night, but I do. That's what you look like.
It is what it is.
It is.
Like,
you can't
photos
hide
don't
that.
lie.
They don't lie. Yeah. And that's terrible. It's made me wake up and go, I really need to change things. So, you know?
So what's been like your favorite experience as a photographer? Or some of the favorite shots
shoots that I've been on? Or?
Yeah, you've taken, or favorite locations you've been, favorite things that you've captured. Yeah. Because you showed me some of the travel stuff. That waterfall was amazing. I don't know where it was. Iceland. That was amazing. Like you've been to some significant, like some beautiful places.
I really have. I've done a lot of traveling, and I started traveling in, I think 2004 was my first major trip overseas, went to America. And then the next year I said to my dad, I'm going to move to London. And he's like, well, whatever you save, I'll match it. And I was like, brilliant. So I saved $5,000. He gave me $5,000. Wow. And I went to London for 2 years.
I hope my dad's listening.
I hope any parents listening go, support your child.
Dad, did you hear that, Dad?
So I guess for me to be able to, like, a lot of photographers will only capture one thing. They'll either do people or travel photography or food or whatever it is. I love capturing everything. I love shooting people, men, women, weddings, babies, families, kids, food. I've done 8 cookbooks. I've shot a lot of food.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've shot 8 cookbooks. It's amazing. And getting to taste all the food at the end of once you shoot it as well.
The job.
Yeah. Photography is rewarding for me because not only am I being creative, but I'm experiencing new things that... like in places, like to be able to go to a place and capture it and bring that home with you. A lot of people just get out their iPhone and take a shitty shot of the clouds and a little bit of a building. It's like, you got the wrong angle there, babe, you know. It's so bad. But I guess the best thing I've taken out of photography is that it's taken me all around the world with it multiple times. I've traveled all over the world shooting everyone and everywhere. And that's probably the most rewarding part of it, meeting people from other cultures and learning new languages and learning things from people, connecting, again, in ways that you wouldn't if you were just having a conversation. So, yeah, it's continually rewarding. I love it.
So what makes a good shot?
What makes a good shot?
Because there's so many photographers, there's so many photos. Some just look amazing, some look terrible, like you said. Like, what to you makes a good shot?
I think you've got to have the eye. You've really got to have a good eye for photography. I hate it. Like my biggest thing I hate is when you go overseas and you go, oh, excuse me, sir, madam, would you mind taking a photo of me and my friend at this monument? And they're like, oh, yeah, sure. They take the picture and you look at it, you go, is it good? You're like, it is. Thank you so much. And then you're like, hold on, we're going to get somebody else to take this picture. That's why people have drones now. They can just chuck the drone up and get the picture the way they want it. Yeah. Some people just don't know how to take a photo.
If someone's older than 50, it's really hard to trust that they nailed it.
I've got friends in their 20s and they don't even know how to take a photo sometimes with an iPhone.
Mate, I did a podcast a couple of days ago with Norma. And and we were at the art gallery in Mossman, and the lady that was working behind the desk was, I don't know, early 60s. Like,
she's probably listening. She's 45.
I hope not. But I asked her to take a photo of us.
Yeah. Oh no.
And then, so we're standing in front of this painting. Like, I can see it. I'm like, okay, it's like we're in an art gallery. It's a painting. It's colorful.
Was it all roof and no painting, or?
So I lined it up. I was like, just hold it here and take it. So she grabs it, takes a huge step back, and like goes to the side.
Yeah.
And then she starts zooming in.
No.
So all the steps that she's taken back and went to the side, she's just trying to make up for the zoom. So she takes it, and it's like half my shoulder's gone. Like normal was fine, so that was all good. But it was like from down low, like aiming up. So it was like the top of the painting and the roof, and then like stopping at our belly button type of thing.
To take a picture of the roof, it's a waste of space.
So I was like, oh, like she's like, how was it? And I was like, oh, can we try that again?
Yeah.
You know, I pushed for it.
Yeah.
And then I said, I said, I don't mean to be rude, but just hold it here.
Yes.
And just leave it here and just take a photo.
Yes.
So she goes like this, and then I see her fingers coming back in for this bloody zoom.
Oh,
she starts pinching the screen, and she sends it in. And she shows me, and I'm like,
thank you so much.
No, I'm like, sorry to be rude, but can you please do it again?
Yes.
So I grabbed her hand, and I said, just leave your hand here, and there's no need to zoom.
You did it.
Just hit go.
Did you really?
Yeah, and we got it, but it took us like 5 minutes. But
see,
it's so hard to trust people.
A trick around that now is if I have to ask someone to take a picture, I go to the spot, I take a picture of how I want it to look, whether someone's there or not, and go, see this framing? That's exactly how I'd like the picture to be taken if you don't mind. And they're like, yeah, sure, no problems. Then they take it for me. Might be like a fraction off, but it's enough that I can crop it and make it look great if I need to.
And I think people appreciate a bit of direction as well.
They do. But if someone shows me something, how to do something, I'll remember it.
Yeah.
If you read it or watch it something, like I don't get it. I need someone to show me how to do something first, and then I'm good to go. Yeah. And I think if you can apply that when it comes to getting a photo taken by a stranger on a street.
Yeah. Or like when they start turning their phone, you're like, no, I can't use it. Instagram hates the sideways.
Yeah. Same at a restaurant the other night where there was 8 of us for dinner, and she took a photo of us, and literally it's our chest up and it's all the trees above, and we're like, where's our waist? Where's our feet? Like, so I asked her to take another one, and she vertically flipped the phone after I told her it horizontal, and I was like, oh no. So she took it. I had to zoom and crop it and edit it and everything, but it just destroys the quality. It's all grainy then because you've got to zoom in and crop the photos. So it's so frustrating.
It is.
Then why isn't there like an ebook on how to
I think there will be soon because everyone's just capturing their life like that. You know, like I said, they're taking photos of everything.
Well, being at JB Hi-Fi, women, I'm sorry, just
Go
stereotype. Women go on. Women come in and buy a $3,000 iPhone. It's like, you shouldn't be buying it if you don't know how to use it. And they don't know how to use it. They don't know how to take a picture or how to answer a phone call. That's not just women. That's anyone in general. But yeah, it's really bad.
So since you've traveled a lot, what would be... I haven't been to Europe, right? So I'm interested in Europe. But in general, where's the best place that you've been? Hard to say. Well, maybe we go top 3.
You know what? I've been around the world 15 times, multiple other trips, and I always keep going back to a couple of the same places. New York for me, I've been 15 times to New York, 16 times. It's one of my favorite places on the earth. Yes, it's a city, and I love not being in a city, but if there was a city I was going to live in forever, it would be New York. It's a beautiful place. You've got a mixture of cultures, food, entertainment, everything's like nothing shuts down. It's an unreal place. I don't know if you've ever been to New York, but
I've been to New York I was there for like 12 hours and then I flew out.
What did you think of it? Did you get into the city, to Manhattan?
Yeah, so we flew in at like ridiculous time, 4 a.m. I was overseas with Jamal and I was training a client actually, and he's from Chicago.
Yeah, wow.
And he's like, oh, we'll meet in LA. So we met in LA. This is the second time I went to train him. And then we went from LA, then we went to New York, then we went back to Chicago. So New York, we got there at like 6 a.m.
Yep.
And then we went to the Vessel.
Oh, wow.
Have you been there?
I have.
Yeah.
What's I Am Legend? Will Smith. It's that one. The Vessel? Is that what you...
I don't know. Maybe.
It's a boat or the gym?
No, it's not a boat or a gym.
It's not a boat or a gym?
No, it kind of looks like this. So you know how they shave meat off a kebab thing?
Yes.
Like the things that turn around?
Yes.
I kind of see it looking like that, and it's like a structure.
A structure?
That's my phone. Oh, we're filming with it.
You'll have to Google and show me later.
It's a building.
The Vessel.
The
What am I
Vessel.
saying? Yes, I've been to the Vessel. The big white building. It's the white one, isn't it?
Not in the white building.
Oh God, I'm dreadful. I've been to New York so many times.
So anyway, there's a place
that looks like shaved meat.
It's
a kebab.
And it's like, anyway, it's a structure and you can like walk up and down it and like go to a top. Like,
oh my God, what am I talking about? I know the vessel. The brown.
Yes.
Yeah, I have been there. What am I saying?
Wow.
That's only been there like maybe 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Hasn't been there that long. It's pretty new. Yeah.
So we went there.
God, this is going to go viral for the guy that doesn't know what the vessel is, isn't it?
Yeah, the white building.
The white building. The gym.
The boat. So we went there.
Yeah.
I don't know what side of New York or where it is in New York, but we went there and then we walked down all the busy streets. That's all I know. Like, I don't know what it was. We went past the Rockefeller Center.
Beautiful.
We went into the Adidas store. I got some shoes there because I wanted to say I got some shoes from New York.
Yeah,
Adidas,
cool.
you know, like the flagship store.
Yeah. Yep.
And then we went to the park. Wow.
Central Park.
Yeah. Yep. We went through there. And that's really it, man.
I can't get past the shaved meat.
There was a place, maybe it's called the Iron or something like there's a place, a street where the building's shaped like an iron type of thing. I don't know what it's called, but we had lunch
like
there.
Iron. Not Chelsea Market down that way. Oh, I know the one, the triangle building.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the one.
Is it like an iron? Like, do they say that?
Yeah, I can understand that. I forget the name of it.
Yeah.
It's on 34th Street.
I don't know.
34th.
But we had lunch there.
Beautiful.
And then we walked down, to the park, and then we flew out. Like, it was just literally in and out.
But what did you think of it?
Oh, we went to the main place. What's that place where the big screens are? Oh, man, we went to the top of the Empire State Building. How could I forget that?
How could you forget that?
Yeah. So we went there, and then we also went to what I was saying just before.
The shaved meat?
No. After
the Iron?
After the Iron, Rockefeller Center.
Rockefeller,
Walk past that. Oh, mate, I'm getting lost. Anyway, didn't spend much time there, but...
Do you have a desire to go back?
Not really. Like I was saying to you before, you said that you loved London.
Yes.
And I've just heard that it's a lot of buildings, it's a lot of architecture, museums and stuff like that.
A lot of history in London.
Yeah, a lot of history. I'm not super fascinated with that stuff. I'm more like, let's go to a beach, let's go, swim in some blue water.
I am like that as well.
Cliff jumping.
See, I love all that. And being, living on the Sunshine Coast, we've got all that. Mountains, beaches, everything, you name it. London... I mean, I've lived there 5 years in my life, 2 years in 2005 and 6, again, 13, 14, 15. And I loved it, but it's a very hard place to live if you don't have a good job and good money. But if you're going there for a visit, culture's great. Jump on a red bus, get on a tube, go see all the cultural sites. There's a lot of history in London. It's a beautiful place. And the people are generally very friendly there, but there are a lot of tourists. And after coming back from London only a few weeks ago, there are millions of people traveling there at the moment. And especially since the Queen passed away, I think I got home like 5 days before that happened. And there was already millions of people there. And then more people just flew in for that to be a part of history. So good people, good place. And I do miss it. But it's not a long-term place to live for me.
Yeah.
I could do another year or two, but I couldn't live there for the rest of my life, I don't think. So
New York is number one?
New York is number one.
Like you were saying?
Love,
and what else?
Love Hong Kong. Like
Hong Kong.
Pre-COVID. Love Hong Kong. Love Venice. Iceland, I've got some good friends that I used to work with in 2005 when I lived in London, worked at Harrods. I met an Icelandic girl and her partner at the time, well, they're still together actually. They moved back to Iceland a few years later. So I've been a few times now to visit them. And every time I go, Iceland's one of those places where they used to get 500,000 or 600,000 tourists a year, and now they're getting 2.5 million a year because so many films are being shot there. Cruise, everyone just wants to see all the natural beauty, and that's the difference with going anywhere else in the world. Iceland is completely all natural beauty. Glaciers, mountains, waterfalls, it's all scenic.
Do you know any of the movies that have been shot there?
Yeah, Oblivion with Tom Cruise was shot there. Fast
I love
and the
that
Furious.
movie.
Yeah, it's a great film.
Great film. I've actually seen that one.
Yeah, you've seen it. It's amazing. So all of that volcanic black ash that he is on, that is in Iceland.
I still don't understand that movie, by the way.
Oblivion?
Yeah.
We'll talk after the podcast. You could fill a whole podcast. It's a great film.
Yeah.
Die Another Day, 007.
No.
There's lots of films that are being shot there and TV series that are being shot there at the moment as well. And after being there, the first time was 2015 and again a few weeks ago, and to see the difference each 3 times that I've gone in the town and how much it's grown at a rapid rate, it's insane. But it's a very expensive place. Everything's imported, obviously, because they can't grow anything really because it's so cold. So very expensive place. I think 3 vodkas cost us 90 Australian dollars.
Wow.
It was a lot of money.
Some sober nights.
Fish and chips cost cost me like 35, 40 Australian dollars. Like, it's not that cheap.
Mate, fish and chips back in New Zealand when we used to get them from Fish and Chips store.
Yeah.
Mate, $10.
Yeah, bargain.
It's like,
that's it back home.
It's like $1.50, like $1.50 a scoop, couple of scoops, fish. Mate, if you're balling, you get like a burger. If you're balling, you get a burger. Well, if I was like, say, played rugby in the weekend or like, played well or something like that, I'm like, Dad, can I get a burger? Or like hot dogs. I'm not a huge fan of the hot dogs.
I prefer a hamburger.
Yeah.
Unless you're in America. Hot dog in a giant hand at a game, a baseball game.
Oh, yeah. I had a Chicago hot dog.
You did?
Yeah.
What was it like?
I liked it.
Yeah. Onion, cheese, mustard. What'd you have?
I think I had all of them because he's like the guy that I was there, he's like, you have to experience a true hot dog. But I think a true hot dog over there is like no ketchup or something. Like it's just
no
mustard.
Ketchup, it's mustard.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that because I'm a tomato sauce fiend.
I prefer ketchup over tomato sauce. And I had this debate with friends the other day. Is hot sauce, like do you prefer to keep your sauce outside of the cupboard or in the fridge?
I hate hot sauce.
But not in terms of spicy, in terms of temperature. Temperature, do you prefer cold in the fridge sauce or outside, like room temperature
It's got to be cold.
Really?
It's got to be cold.
Yeah, see, I can't do cold sauce. And everyone's like, do you want some tomato sauce? I'm like, do you have ketchup? And friends are like, it's the same thing. It's not the same thing.
No, it's not the same thing.
Totally different
Ketchup
taste.
tastes a bit more sweet. It's like sugary.
No, tomato sauce is sweeter.
Really?
Yeah, because they use less tomatoes and more sweetener, I think.
Have you had New Zealand tomato sauce? Like Watties?
No. Watties, yes, I have. Yeah,
Watties.
That was good.
Yeah,
That's
but there's
great
Watties
sauce.
home style. So my brother used to love that.
Really?
Home style. There's actually like chunks of like onion and tomato and stuff in it. So it was like, that was like OG tomato sauce.
They
like,
don't have it
really
here.
tasted, nah.
No.
Here it's like, I get the Heinz one, which is like 40% less sugar or something. I'm trying to.
Which has probably got more fat.
Nah, I don't know what's in it.
But you love it. That's the best part.
It does taste good. I did want to talk about your other job that we didn't mention. I was going to say food critic, but movie critic.
Movie critic. I used to work in radio in 2005 and 6. And
you said you still have a radio show.
I do. And then I quit. And then 2017, I started back at the local radio station on the coast where a lot of my friends worked.
Yeah, what's the station? You want to push it?
91.9 CFM and 92.7 Mix FM. So, and Todd and Sammy are very good friends of mine. I've known Todd 15 years, Sammy about 23 years. And 2 weeks into getting a job there as a tech. So tech back then was keeping them on air when they're at an outside broadcast. So they said, look, we love movies. I used to work at the cinema. That's how we all met. Why don't you come on our show and do movie reviews? So for almost 5 years now, I've become a movie critic. So I go to the movies every week, see the latest release, and then go on their show and review it. I sort of just take the piss out of movies, or I just rave about how good it is. So, but during COVID, it turned to, because the cinema shut down, it turned to streaming. So now every week I do a streaming show, and I also do a new release at the cinema as well.
You must be watching a lot of stuff. How do you find time for that?
Well, sometimes I sneakily, accidentally don't watch it and I review it anyway. So good. Yeah. So great. Haven't seen it, don't know. And then the next week I do see it and go, oh my God, I gave that movie such a good review and it was so bad. But since I've come back from overseas this trip, the last 2 months, I just don't have a desire to watch as much as I used to watch.
Is that because you just feel like, and this sounds cheesy, but like living your own movie?
Yeah, literally. It's become less of a priority. As much as movies is my life, I grew up on that. My dad used to manage the State Theatre here in Sydney for like 45 years. So when he retired, he got a Pioneer Pass for free movies for life. So my whole life I've had free movies up until he cucked it. So I've grown up on watching every single movie that's pretty much ever come out. My back catalogue is extensive. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. You know? Well, you're always so disappointed in me that I haven't seen anything.
I am so disappointed.
But actually...
You haven't seen Top Gun yet, have you?
I haven't, mate.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Mate, I've been trying to beg my wife to watch it. She's just not interested in Top Gun.
Oh, it's so good.
I know. Well, I'm like, now we don't even have to go to the movies. We can watch it on Amazon.
It comes out on Monday to buy on Blu-ray and DVD.
Well, I'm not going to do that.
Well, you could do it on Amazon as well.
Amazon. It was like $25 to watch. And I was like, I'm keen, but she wasn't keen. So I don't know. I'll have to wait till
you know what?
She's
I think the reason it's done so well is its originality. This is a pattern with movies in the last 10 years. People love familiarity. They like watching the same thing over and over.
I don't get watching the same movie over and over again.
Well, I do that, but
it's like something
all
similar.
Your Marvels, and all
of
your DCs and all of those sort of films. They're all the same structure and same pattern. Every year, the top 10 highest grossing films of all time are your Jurassic Parks, Harry Potter, Fast and the Furious, Lord of the Rings, all those.
Fast and the Furious. Number 42 must be.
Yeah, literally. Vin Diesel's going to be 106 and he's still going to be driving a car, to be electric and home. But I guess everyone just craves that familiarity. But Top Gun took something that was 36 years old and recreated that same essence, which is why everyone loved it. And now everyone, I think, wants to jump on that bandwagon. So you've got Beverly Hills Cop 4 out next year. You've got Indiana Jones 5 coming out next year. Harrison Ford is 78.
Shit.
And he like the trailer, he looks incredible in it.
Wow.
So, yeah, everyone just craves familiarity. I think that's why everyone's so content and comfortable just sitting at home watching Netflix.
Yeah.
You know, it's really bad, isn't it?
Like, I am with you on living your own movie type of thing. Like, me and Kiki have been talking about that for a while now. Like, we're like, we'll sit down and, we don't have a dinner table at this. So we usually just like at this house. So we usually just sit down and put our dinner on this table and just like put TV
That's
on
fine.
and stuff.
I have a dinner table, but I eat it on the couch.
Yeah, but we have dinner early, so like 5, and then it's like we're not going to watch TV from 5 till 9. Like I kind of sit there on my phone, I'm posting content and writing captions and all this kind of stuff, but we kind of just sit there and watch it, and then after a while we just kind of look at each other. We're like, should we just turn this off? Like,
it's just in the background.
Yeah, but it's just too much sometimes. Like, you just sit there and it's just so easy to like it feels like you're not experiencing anything. Like, you're vicariously living through other experiences.
I actually unplugged the aerial from my television in 2007 and it's not been plugged in since. Because I used to come home from work, sit in front of the TV for 2 hours to unwind and do nothing. And I'd be watching endless crap, ads, shows I don't even want to watch just because I needed to unwind. I sat there and went, this is 2 hours of my day every day I could be utilizing, either going to the gym or doing something productive that I want to do with my life.
Well, you have so many things to do.
So many things
like,
to do.
we can't even keep up with the amount of things that you're doing. Like, and we were literally just talking about this. Like, you have a lot of mates and you see all your friends and stuff like that. And I was saying, like, something has to give. Like, if you want to push certain things, and you have so many things to push.
Discipline.
You have to have discipline. Like, that's why I can't sit there and watch like TV for ages, because I literally get this voice inside of my head. It's quite hard to fight, and it's like, do this.
Yeah.
Or like,
you have to. You can't just procrastinate.
Or go and edit this. Or go write this program. Or go write this email. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm kind of like a slave to the voice. Like, oh, okay. Like, just because I've made that habit of doing it. But it's so easy just to sit there and like just blob out.
Dude, James Cameron just recently said, because Avatar 2 is coming out in December, and he's like...
By the way, I'm so excited for that.
I can't wait.
That's my favorite movie of all time.
Is it really?
Yeah,
wow.
Avatar.
You need to watch Top Gun. It's better than Avatar. And it's actually in the top 5 highest grossing films of all time now, Top Gun.
Yeah. Oh, I thought it was the biggest.
No, it's top 5 of all time. Okay. Domestic in the States, though it is. But anyway, he came out and said Avatar 2 is 2 hours, 55 minutes.
I'm so in...
And he was like, I don't care how long it is. He's like, if you can sit down and watch Stranger Things in one night and binge it, you can sit down and watch my movie that's 3 hours.
People give like 7 hours to
and
something
I agree.
in a day.
They do. Like
I'm calling in sick, and then like I'm like, oh, what'd you do? They're like,
watch 7 hours of Stranger Things.
I just watched about 6 seasons. I'm
literally
like, what?
Each episode of Stranger Things was like an hour 20 this season. So yeah, if someone can sit down and do that, they can watch a 3 hour movie at the cinema. It's not that hard. So, but yeah, I don't watch TV anymore. I barely watch Netflix, and I don't normally put anything on in the background to do something. I'll personally sit down and actually watch it. But I have like 5 or 6 friends come around every week, and we watch a movie or two, one or 2 nights a week. We sit there. As soon as it starts, everyone gets their phone out. I'm like, I pause it and go, drop the damn phones. Like, put your phones down. They're like, I'm like, have you seen this?
You should bring a safe.
I shouldn't I? Put it in the safe, the lockbox.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
Yeah. Put it on a timer for the amounts of them.
So normally when you do dinner, the first person to touch their phone pays for dinner. Right? I should do that with a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have to like create something, like make it fun. Like, first person that has to grab it has to do something.
Yes. Run around the street or
watch it naked.
No, watch it naked. My God, that could be dreadful. I look like ET naked.
Like, no,
it's awful.
Don't grab the phone. Don't grab the phone.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, I guess I just back to the traveling thing. As much as going to all these places I wanted to for the monuments, the older I've gotten, I want to go to these places for the food. I want to experience the different cultures, the different types of food. Because as much as we have our own version of Italian and Australian, Japanese, Korean, all of that, I've been to all those countries and it's nothing like what we have here in Australia.
Yeah.
It's our version of it.
Yeah, well, we think Japanese food is like sushi.
Yeah. They don't barely even eat sushi in Japan.
No,
it's
I've
all
heard.
laksas and ramens and
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of noodles.
Lots of noodles. Yeah. Italy, the food, like the pizzas are so different. The bases are so different to what you get here. So, yeah, I think traveling for me now has become, yes, I want to go to the place, but I also want to experience the food.
Yeah, I think we've gotten so used to experiencing things through the TV screen. Like it feels like it almost satisfies that thing. Like, you know, you watch, I don't know, what was that one? It was like Emily in Paris or something like that.
Emily in Paris?
I unfortunately had to watch that because my wife
Did you? What did you think?
Into it. I hated it. I thought that was literally
But for French people, they hated it. But for us, like people who are tourists that go to France or Paris, they loved that.
Yeah, but they felt, but also like for me, like potentially you could feel, oh, I went to Paris. Yeah. Or like, you know, like, oh, I know.
Well, during COVID we did.
Yeah, like, oh, I know what it looks like and stuff. But it's like, I think it's almost trapping us in like this whole Ready Player One thing where we just sit there and like when VR comes out and everyone's sitting there with goggles on, it's going to be even worse.
It is going to be Ready Player One.
Yeah.
The metaverse in Facebook. That's
well, you can actually walk around these sites and be like, and be there. And people are there because that's when they shot it type of thing. But
people do that now. Like you'll go somewhere and go, this was shot here. Let's get a photo at the same place that they shot it. Instead of just going there and experiencing the history and culture, they want to go there. Oh, this movie was shot on this street, on this bridge. Yeah. And they'll go get a photo and that's their documentation of it, which is fun if that's what you want to do. I've done that. I'm guilty of it. But I also want to learn about the place I'm going to as well and the history. So
I just think in general, I think people need to do a little bit more. Like in terms of like not trying to make your life busier and stuff like that, but like I guess be more intentional with their time.
I don't think you really discover who you are as a person fully to your full potential until you've maybe gone and traveled by yourself and got out of your comfort zone, pushed your boundaries. I'd never been to London and I got on a plane at 22 and just moved there. I had a couple of friends that lived there, but I just moved there. And the first month I was like, what the hell have I done? This place is a shithole. Like, why have I moved here? And then after about 2-3 months, I was like, okay, I'm getting used to it. And now it's like a second home. I love it so much. I think traveling is one of the best things you could ever do for your soul.
Yeah,
you know?
I think I haven't traveled as much as you, so I don't think I can say that.
But you've still traveled. That's a bonus.
But I think that, like traveling, like what traveling has done for you, I think moving out of home and like kind of paying your own bills,
yes,
working a job, like doing all that stuff is so important. You learn so much. Like you become a different person. Yeah, it forces you. And I think when you stay at home, it's almost like a disservice to yourself. Because you don't grow. But
I've got friends, like lots of friends in London, and a lot of them during COVID had to move back in with their parents because work situation, they'd been made redundant or lost their job. Some people here might say, well, that's ridiculous. Why would you go back and live with your parents at 35 or 45? But you've got Europe on the doorstep. 2 hours, you're on a train to Paris. Hour 50, you're on a flight to Italy. You've got Europe. You go like for a weekend, you just go away for a weekend to Italy or Greece or Turkey or whatever it may be. Here in Sydney, let's go to Newcastle or let's go down to the southern beaches or whatever for the weekend or whatever it is. You're staying in the same country, the same culture, whereas over there it's much more accessible. So it's not frowned upon as much, but by having all those different countries and different languages, you're still pushing yourself to go to a country that you're not familiar with. Yeah. And if you can't speak the language, you've just got to wing it. It's the best part. Get lost, you know?
Yeah, what's the best thing that you've learned from traveling, you think? Like, how do you think you grew when you, like, first traveled?
I think...
Like you said, you went to London, it was like a shithole, but
it
changed. it would have changed you.
It made me appreciate where I was from, home, more. It made me realise how lucky I have it here in Australia. But at the same time, it also made me realise how much I'm missing out on in my life. And I've got friends that are 30s, 50s, 40s that have never been out of the country. They've never left Australia. A couple have never even left the state of Queensland. And I just go, how do you know what you want from life or anything until you've gone and experienced other cultures? I think from a very young age, when you've got kids, I think it's the most important thing to do is to get on a plane and just go and explore, get lost, have fun. It's the experience of it all, you know? You can do that here, but it's not the same.
Yeah, my brother would always say to me that I was not small-minded. He would say like you just need to see more places. Like you don't have kind of an experience of culture. Yeah. And I was like, culture, man. I was just like, let's just work hard and like, you know, I just want to put my head down.
And that's not a bad thing.
Yeah. And I learned a lot from applying myself and working hard. But I also, when I first went, so I had a big realization when I first went to Bali.
Yes. Oh, yep.
Mate, I was like, it's the first time I'd been
like a third world country almost.
Yeah. I was shocked.
Yeah.
First
you
of
would
all,
be. You
I
would
was
be.
shocked at the amount of people that were trying to steal my bag when I got to the airport, trying to get me in their car. I was like, no, I'm looking for a sign that says Brock.
Yeah.
But just seeing the stray dogs, the people on the side of the road, like when my brother, I was like, mate, I need petrol for the scooter. And he's like, it's on the side of the road. And I was like, I can't see anything that looks like a fuel station.
It's just bottles.
And he was like, no, it's here. And I was like, mate, those are vodka bottles.
Yeah.
Absolute vodka. He said, that's the fuel.
It's the fuel.
And I was like, well, how much is it? And
like
I was asking
$5,
him.
yeah.
And he goes, you have to ask. Because it's always different.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll get it for $7, some
they
for
might
$5,
rip you
some
off
for
and go,
$10.
oh, he's never been here before.
Exactly.
Let's do it.
So like they were like, oh, it's this. And I said, oh, my brother said it's this. And then he goes, oh, yeah, okay, I can do that. And I was like, this is so dodgy.
Yeah.
but just the struggle that people had to face. Like we would have a driver all day and he would sit in the car and just wait.
Yeah.
And I was like, I used to ask him, like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll just sit here. And I was like, man.
But that's the thing, like, you look at us here. If we don't have a 7-Eleven or a Woolworths or a Coles or an Aldi nearby, oh God, I got to get in the car. I've got to drive there now. This is shit. Over there, they don't have anything. They live in a small little 4x4 tent or a tin shack.
Yeah.
And they give up a resort to entertain you and feed you and let you have drinks and massages and everything to earn next to no money. But that's their culture. They love to welcome people and be hospitable. Same with Fiji, Vietnam as well. My friends were like, you're not going to Vietnam. I said, yeah, I am going for 2-3 weeks. They're like, it's not for you. You're not going to like it. It's a third world country. You're going to hate it. This is before I'd been to Bali. So I only went to Vietnam 4 years ago and they're like, you're going to hate it. It's third world. Within 5 minutes of getting out of the airport, there was people, bikes everywhere. Like it was mental. And I was like, this is so awesome. And after 2 days,
apparently the roads there are just nuts.
It was nuts. Like you would see a motorbike go past you at like 80 k's an hour and it has a baby, a 6-month infant on the front the woman's holding and a child on the back. And you're like, how? But it's their way of life. It's their way of living. And they're so hospitable and they love welcoming people into their lives. So a third world country will shock you if you've never been.
Yeah, it gave me the deepest sense of gratitude. Like I already had a gratitude practice. I'd wake up and say, I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for that. But when I went there and actually saw it, I understood what my brother said.
Yeah.
You know, you can say that you're grateful, but to actually be in a place where you experience gratitude because you're like, I don't have that, or I don't have to work that hard where, you know, I'm living in this small house and staying in a car all day and driving a scooter with, you know, 3 kids on the front and like doing all this stuff.
But
like
we get too content here and we complain about so much. Like
our problems are so
it's
abysmal.
so trivial. We're like, oh God, the traffic's terrible today. It's going to take me 10 more minutes
it's raining.
to get there. It's raining. You're alive. You've woken up. Like I can't stress enough. I just wish everyone would relax. Just you're breathing. You've got a life. You've got a beautiful friends, partner maybe. You know, just be grateful for what you've got in your life because a lot more people are suffering worse than what you've got.
Yeah, my driver, Ryan was his name, and he actually told me that there's only about 4 names in Bali.
Yeah,
and they just kind of choose different versions of the same name.
Really?
But anyway, he was saying, like, it was funny. He was like, it's kind of like happy Ryan or like fat Ryan. Or like
really?
Sad Ryan or like weird Ryan. Like it's kind of like there's 4 different names and they just add certain things to it. But anyway, I digress. So he was my driver from a client. He was like, oh, I have a driver. He'll drive you around and stuff. And I was like, oh, awesome. So he was driving me around and, you know, it was like $70, but he was there all day. Like he worked a big day, like 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. We're going around all these different places.
We would be wanting so much more money than that.
Yeah.
My Uber last night was $71 from the airport.
Yeah, for a 30-minute drive.
15 minutes.
15.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, wow. So on the last day, I was staying at a hotel, right? And he told me this story while we were driving one day that to wear something white meant so much to him because he said it's clean, it's pure.
Yeah.
And he was wearing a T-shirt that a previous client of his gave him that was white. Because I said, oh, that's a cool top. Yep. You know, we were just talking and he said, yeah, I like it because it's white. Yeah. And I was like, you know, what's so cool about it? He said it's because it's clean and it's pure. So I got him this dress shirt from the hotel that I was staying at, which was like super overpriced. It was like $100. And I was like,
goodness.
It's just a white shirt. Anyway, I was like, I want to give it to my driver just because he appreciated that it was white. Like we think, I like this shirt because it looks cool, not because of the color and the symbolism.
The significance of it,
and it was, to me, it was beautiful. So I was like, okay, like I wanted to give him a shirt because he'd just been awesome.
How did he react?
Mate, he was so grateful.
That's amazing.
He was so grateful. He was like, thank you so much. I'm going to wear this to my next church service. And then
awesome.
like when I flew back, he sent me a WhatsApp image and he had the white shirt on.
Hey, that's
and
so
his,
good.
like, his two kids and his wife had white on and they were at a service.
Dude, you paid it forward.
It was so beautiful.
You paid it forward. That's awesome.
But he ended up taking me into his house and he showed me where he lived.
And what was it like?
It's hard to see how they live, you know, like it's rough, you know, like I live in a 1-bedroom apartment. I complain it's so small, but I'm like, mate, you know, like they literally have a house, but it's
the size of your bathroom.
Yeah. Well, it was actually pretty decent size, but they have it's symbolic. They're like, this is where the grandparents stay. This is where we stay. And this is where the children stay. Like it's quite like, and then when you move up, you know, when you become a grandparent, you move to that side of the house. And it was,
but then guess like we go over there and we get put up in a 5-star resort.
Exactly, man. Yeah. It's crazy just the difference of the lifestyles that you can live. But yeah, he took me to his house and then he took me out for dinner.
That's amazing.
Like we went to a place and we like had
nice.
prawns.
He would have loved that.
And I met his kids and we were playing on the beach. Like I have all these photos. Like it was so beautiful. And that gave me even more gratitude because I was like, man, this guy is the happiest dude in the world. Yeah. He literally made $70 today. He got a white shirt and he's like on cloud 9.
But he got more than $70. He got a friend.
Yeah. Man, I love that guy. I still send him messages.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've still got my driver on WhatsApp as well.
Yeah. Like,
he's really good.
And he posts on Instagram. I'm like, yeah, man. Like I'm so happy to see people traveling with him because it means that he's making money.
Well, they're so happy to have tourists come back. And while I know, like, one of my friends was recently there just as they opened up the borders in the first week, and like Bali barely had any motorbikes, like no one walking or driving around the streets. So it's good that tourism is back there because the people need that. Yeah. They really do. Otherwise they've got no means to live, you know? Yeah. No way of making money.
Yeah, it's tricky. It was the same in Fiji. I'll have to mention this and then we'll have to do the last 3 questions to wrap it up because or else I will get beaten in the car by my wife.
Oh my goodness, don't want that.
But when I was in Fiji, he was saying like I was on a catamaran with my wife and we were going to the Mamanuca Islands, and it was amazing. It was a gorgeous day, and we were out there, and one of the guys came up, and like all of them were saying to me, "You play rugby?"
That's the size of it.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh yeah, I used to." Like, "Oh yeah, you like the All Blacks?" Yeah, yeah. You know, so anyway, we were chatting, and he was like, "How was COVID for you?" And I was like, "Oh, it wasn't the best." Like I said, you know, luckily I was still able to work. My wife was able to work, but I think it was very hard for some people. Yeah. You know, but I said, but the government did okay. And then, for us. And then I said, how was it for you? And he goes, it was very hard. And he said that he had to send so he lived in like the main city, which is Suva. And he sent his family back to the village where they were born because he didn't have enough money to support the rent. Wow. And he lost his job because the tourism. Yeah, it stopped. Everything stopped. Jeez. So he said he was literally kind of like homeless for like months, looking around for jobs, selling fruit on the side of the street. And then the government gave him like, I think it was $360. Yeah. I was like, oh, that was nice. And he said it was for 5 months. Wow. So he sent his family back there in the village. Getting
payments of 7, whatever it was.
Yeah, like here there is people making more money than they were previously on what, like $750 a week or something like that, and just squandering it and having no gratitude at all. And then there's this guy in Fiji who's literally like homeless, sending his family back to go live in like a farm while he's hustling out there trying to get a job. And he said that even now when he's working, his pay is getting deducted because the country's still in the red.
Yeah, because they're trying to pay that back.
Not the country. The company's in the red because they're not having any profit yet. So they're still trying to get out of the red. So he's like, yeah, man. He's just like, I'm just so happy that you're here. And I was like, amazing. And he's like, and if you want to help, just come back to Fiji.
But I mean, I knew of people here that earn, 6 figures a year, and because their business was shut down, they were getting $750 a week from the government. Yeah. I worked right through COVID. I didn't get any money. I just got paid my normal job. So everything was backwards. And people in countries like that where there's no support. Yeah. It's horrible.
I felt so bad after saying that COVID was hard. I was like, wow. Can I take that back?
You should have asked him the question first.
Yeah. You go first, man. Yeah. All right, let's go to the last 3 questions because I got to jump off soon.
Go for it.
Question number 1. What is something that you do every day that helps you become a better person?
I have a to-do list, which I write every month. And at the moment, it's probably got 50 or 60 things on there. And every day I try and make sure I at least work on one of my to-do lists to tick off. And by doing that, I know I'm not procrastinating or wasting time. I'm moving forward to ticking my goals off. So to me, that's bettering myself and bettering where I want to be.
And what sort of things do you put on there? You don't have to tell us specific things, but what's like some things?
Like I've got a feature film that I'm writing at the moment. I'm trying to finish the script. I'd like to do a gallery of all my work, that like my travel photography, because no one ever really gets to see that apart from on my website. So I'd like to do that. Fitness goals, I think I've had them for about 20 years and I'm still not ticking them off. So slowly, day by day, walks, changing things, it's all about discipline, changing my mindset. So yeah, to-do list for me.
Do you get overwhelmed with like 50 or 60 things? Because I find that when I make the list too big, like you can see the whiteboard over there in the corner.
Yes. There's 5 things on it.
Yeah. But there was like 10. Sometimes you put too much on there and it's scary.
Well, I do a different one every month, but sometimes there might be small things like clean your room.
Yeah.
Make your bed.
So important.
Hang out the washing.
So hard to work with a dirty room.
Whatever. I can't do a dirty room.
Messy room, messy
say that
life.
and I've got the messiest room at the moment. But I just...
Messy room, messy life. Take that home.
That's exactly right. But but it could be little things, read a book, finish 10 pages of this, whatever it is. I've got to write it. I've got to get it all out. Otherwise, it just keeps going on in my mind while I'm trying to do other things at the same time. So to-do list is the big thing for me.
To-do list.
Yeah.
One book that has made you a better person.
You know what? I don't read that many books. I think because when I read a book, I start on a page and I read that, go to the next page. I've just forgotten that last page. So
I do that too, but I still enjoy books.
You do? It takes me so long to get through a book. But I have started doing audiobooks in recent times. And my friend...
Well, everyone learns different, man. So that could be a better opportunity for you to digest knowledge.
Take it. And I definitely hold it in there. So my friend Nick Brax wrote a book called Move Your Mind. He's also got a podcast in that book he recently released.
I think you told me about him last time.
Yeah, I did. And he did an audiobook on the book, and it's an amazing book. So that was a good way of disciplining myself. I liked it. Very good book. Highly recommend it.
What did you learn and move your mind?
So many people are stuck in the past, dwelling on things that have happened in their life and why they got to the point they're at now, and not concentrating on the present or the future because you're too buried up in the past. So I guess the best way to move forward with your life is concentrate on now and realize every experience that you've had has put you in the place you're in today. So take the knowledge that all the pain you've gone through or everything and grow from that. Pain means you're going.
How do you forget something that is in the past that you feel like is hard to drop? Because I know what I would say to that person, but I'd be interested to hear what you would encourage people to do in that time.
A lot of people can't be by themselves. They have to constantly be doing something. They're not happy in their own company. If it was me, I would say to that person, you need to become comfortable in your own company before you can go and deal with everything that you've gone through. Or are going through, I think if you're comfortable, if you're in your own skin, you look at people that go to a restaurant and eat by themselves, you're like, oh, that's so sad. No, it's not. I think it's beautiful.
I know someone who does that.
Yeah.
And he's the happiest man ever. And I'm like,
much, yeah.
You're the man.
That's true.
Like you're like, he's like even posting it on Facebook and Instagram. He's like, yeah, boy, look at these oysters. And I'm like, go you, man.
Yeah, dude. It's the most powerful thing. I've traveled the whole world by myself. I've met friends overseas, but I've done it all by myself every time. Yeah. And I think it's the greatest reward I could ever have is to be comfortable in my own skin. And it took me until I was 31 to get there. And now nothing can break me. It's great.
Yeah, that's so good. Yeah. I think one thing I'd quickly add to that is I think expressing yourself at that time, whatever that emotion is, I think it's important to do that.
Talk.
So, or even just express. So for me, to quickly touch on, what happened when I was younger, my mum passing away.
Yeah.
I cried so much, but the thing is, I didn't stop it. I was just like, I just cried it out. I cried with my dad. I cried with my brother.
Normal, that's your grieving process.
I cried with my mentors. I cried so much, even when I was 14, 16. It took me so long. But now, I probably couldn't cry because I've cried so many tears about it. But I've dealt with it.
Yes.
I don't care if anyone makes fun of my mum, makes fun of me about anything. It makes me so resilient because I've dealt with it. But if you don't, it still has has power over you. You really need to express it all. So it's almost you're free flowing out of it.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what I would add to it. Quickly, last one. We're trying to push this a little bit quicker. So last question. What is one quote that makes you a better person? I love quotes.
Quotes. Oh, God, I've got so many quotes and I'm trying to think of one right now.
Or top three.
Top three. I'd love to grab my phone, but I can't. It's filming.
Oh, yeah.
Mate, you've got me on the quotes.
Yeah? Would you want me to share one while you think about
Please
it?
do.
Okay, let me show you. So I read many quotes in the morning.
Yep.
I haven't got one in my head because I literally did a podcast a couple of days ago and I used it all. Sorry, let me just find it.
Yeah.
Keep thinking.
Don't get bad, get even. Oh God, I'm useless with quotes. I've got so many that I love and they've all escaped my mind right now.
Sounds like you've got none.
Thank you. Appreciate that. It's been a pleasure. Goodbye.
Oh man. Yeah, I have many too. I read these every day. But
there is an Instagram page that I follow which is purely just a saying and then it comes with a paragraph of words and it's the most incredible Instagram account. And I sometimes I screenshot and I print that page out and put it on my vision board so I can look at it every day.
Yeah.
I love stuff like that.
That's good. Mate, so I love one and I put this in one of my motivational emails that I send out. Yeah. I'm actually on email 999.
Yeah. Really?
This is my next email is going to be my 1000th email.
No way.
Yeah.
I think I've got over 500 of them. I do. I seriously do.
It's got some of
no, I've never unsubscribed.
Yeah, bro, leave me alone.
I don't know how you come up with the content to write every day.
1,000 emails.
It blows my mind.
Yeah, man.
Well done.
So I'll say two to give you some time to think.
Thank you.
And this is from the Bible. Yep. I loved this ever since I went to church and stuff. The power of the tongue is life and death. Those who love to talk will eat what it produces.
Ooh.
I love that.
Love that.
I love that because I wanted to bring this into my life and say it every day because I found that it's so easy to gossip and it's so easy to say how shit things are.
Yeah.
But you eat what that produces.
100%.
So the more you say that, the more that's going to, manifest in your life. So I really love that for trying to be positive.
That's the same with like body shaming. People go, I look fat. If you keep saying that, it's never going to change.
You'll never change. Well, it's so hard when you tell yourself that story.
Yeah.
So this one is, I love this one. A society grows great when old men plant trees in whose shade they know they shall never sit.
I like that.
It's not really relevant to anything, but
but I like it.
It's more so about paying it forward and thinking about others before yourself and knowing that effect may not be felt.
Yes.
You're still paying it forward. Like I see it as just being generous.
Yeah.
And
open.
And not expecting anything.
Yeah.
It's not like, I'm doing this to receive this. You're like, I'm just doing this so that people have it better. And like, I suppose I'm going to experience that in fatherhood. And, you're just like, you're doing things because you want them to have a better life.
Yeah. You're also going to want to turn into one of those people that takes 1 billion photos of their child and plastered it all over Facebook. It's hilarious.
I was actually joking about that with Kiki, like creating a baby.
Isn't my baby cute? Oh my God, it's the hottest baby, the cutest baby in the world. Everyone says that about their child.
Yeah. Or like creating an Instagram account, like their name. And I was just like, and I
have a friend though that said,
and they post like it's the baby writing the caption like, hey guys, it's my first birthday. I'm like,
the baby has no idea what you're talking about. I've got a friend, I'm not going to say which one. They're like, my baby is the most adorable baby in the world. And then you look at the child and you go, oh my God, like how? Who? It's so funny when they do. They plaster photos all over Facebook. I've had to unfollow a few of my friends just because they post too much stuff. You are?
Yeah.
I'm still friends, just unfollow. Like mute.
But I think...
So I don't see their posts.
I think...
I don't want to look at babies and all my feet. All my friends have children. They're all married with kids. Hello.
I just think... I don't want to see that. Like,
but you're about to be one.
But also, no... Okay, I'm not talking about babies. I'm just talking about people's content. I'm like, sometimes I just enjoy the person, but I don't enjoy their content.
True.
Like, I don't care about what you care about, but I care about you.
Mute it. Don't unfollow.
Yeah, I
just
guess
mute.
Unfollow's a bit harsh. Yeah.
Unfollow. You're dead to me. You're harsh. How could you do that to me?
I've done that to a lot of people.
Really? I unfollowed someone the other day, and then 2 days later they messaged and go, "Did you unfollow me on Instagram?" And I'm like, "Must be an algorithm to know what you're talking about." And I was like, "Wow, you don't talk to them for 3 years, and then they message you 2 days after you unfollow them."
People are so impacted.
I've got my quote.
Yes. Quickly, because I got to go.
Time is a companion which follows us on a journey and reminds us to cherish every moment because it will never come again. That's one of my favorite quotes.
I like that.
Sayings, more than a quote, I guess.
Can you say that one more time?
Time is a companion which follows us on a journey and reminds us to cherish every moment because it will never come again because we're not immortal.
I like it.
Yeah. Oh, that's one of my favorite ones that I love.
Let's end it on that.
Done.
Anthony, appreciate it, man. We'll have to do this again when we have more than 50 minutes.
Yeah, we'll do it in season 6.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
All right. See you, man.
Thanks, buddy. Take care.